everybody. Dr. Rick Wallace dropping in on you. Hope everybody is having an unbelievable week. No matter what's going on, I hope that things are working out for you. If not, keep doing what you're doing. Be persistent, be consistent, and push through. I'm here to talk to you about something that's immensely important to me. I am beyond passionate about the work I do with young black males. I am beyond passionate about my focus on providing solution to some very disturbing enigmas within our community that involve young black males. I have been doing this for years, and a couple of weeks ago, I told you about a targeted fundraiser we're doing at the Odyssey Project for Black Men Lead. The goal was that week to raise $10,000 for services offered to young black males to increase and expand the reach of the Black Men Lead Rite of Passage program, which actually serves young black males from the age of 4 to 30. Uh, this isn't something new. I've been doing this for a while, but maybe some of you are unfamiliar with it. But I have consistently been involved in this. Now, the goal was to raise 10,000. At the end of that week, we had raised 300, somewhere around 300 bucks, or a little more. And so I extended it another week, which ends today, and we're at 400. Um, well, I would normally sit up and say, see, it doesn't work, and I would go back to the my people and say, see, it doesn't work. We're not going to do that. We're going to come back to you, and we're going to ask you to support us. We're going to ask you to get behind the work we're doing. You know why? Because there's not a day that goes by that my inbox isn't full or my phone isn't ringing about things that need to be done uh, in the way of working with our young boys, whether it's helping them with a problem, it's helping them acclimate, socialize, if it's a part of developing them, if it's a part of helping them get out of a certain crisis that they're in, if we're talking about mental health. These are all things that we deal with consistently. And the truth is, the resources aren't there. There's no resources that are really truly dedicated on a grand scale to this thing. Um, we are going to consistently push, we're going to consistently offer what we do to the level of the resources of what we can provide, but there's so much work that needs to be done. The good thing is, I work with some people who really and truly believe in what we do. And so their spirits are high. I'm telling you all of this because I'm going to challenge you today. I'm going to talk to you about what's going on and why it's important. See, as we fail our young black males, we subsequently fail our daughters because the young black males are going to be the men that we will have to entrust the safety of our daughters, the well being of our daughters, the financial stability of our daughters, the love and the perpetuation of our desires to be an empowered people. The family is consists of, first and foremost, the husband and the wife, the marriage. And from that, the family expands into the children who will be taught and socialized into a certain belief system, a certain standard, a certain set of values, interests, and principles that will determine how they will live their lives and how they will reflect and how they will impact the community. If we're talking about community, then we must be talking consistently about what's necessary for that community to thrive. The individualism has to come to an end. The live and let live mindset of long as it ain't bothering me, it's not a problem, has to stop because that doesn't work on a social level. It works on if I want to be politically correct, if I want to say everything that makes everybody comfortable, then I say that. But if I'm saying that I want to see a specific group do a certain thing, then there has to be protocols in place. There has to be standards in place. There has to be something that says this is how we get it done. And we're not doing that. So I started out years ago just trying to get a handle on why so much violence was perpetuated in the hood by black boys, primarily against other black boys. It has evolved now, and it's become far more dangerous for our girls as we have lost our boys. We have lost them because we have not socialized them into Black manhood. We have not socialized them into an understanding of what it means to be a Black man, what comes with the label of being a Black man, what manhood really stands for. We haven't taught them about being providers. We haven't taught them about being protectors. We haven't taught them about the importance of character and integrity. We haven't taught them about the importance of being out in front. We haven't taught them. All we know is we see a bunch of boys out there trying to find their space, trying to find their place, trying to deal with a bunch of things. They don't deal with rejection well because they haven't been stabilized in their own identity. So everything comes from how other people treat them. We haven't given them the power and the force of identity that says I stand on who I am and I operate on my responsibilities. We're looking at a reflection of our failure. And my goal is to get out there because we have such great potential. We have such great power. We have such great opportunities in front of us, but it's not going to happen simply because we want it. It's definitely not going to happen because we're out there pointing the finger, talking about this is what's going on. Look at what they're doing to us. Look at this, white supremacy that. I once heard someone say that white supremacy is absolutely nothing without Black compliance. And I believe that to my fullest, that we sit up and we give it power because we acquiesce to its towing and into its touch and to its demands. And we sit up and we are so busy trying to fit in, trying to be accepted, trying to live based on the standards and the ideas and the principles set forth by a system that doesn't serve us, that we're losing ourselves in it. And in the process of losing ourselves, we have lost our boys. We have lost our boys. I'm telling you, just read the papers. Our daughters are coming up dead and missing at an alarming rate, and we're finding out over time that these murders and disappearances are primarily at the hands of our young boys. And that doesn't have to be the case. I'm telling you from the research I've done and from the way that I've operated my programs that when you properly socialize a young Black male, their proclivity towards violence decreases dramatically. But that has to take place. You can't turn a kid loose and expect the school system to socialize them into a responsible position in their community. The school system isn't set up that way. You can't turn them loose and think the street is going to train them to be responsible. The street is going to train them to fight for a little piece of something that doesn't belong to them in the first place. And they will become extremely violent in the process. It will become have or not have and whatever comes. And then because you don't know how to deal with your emotions, when someone triggers you emotionally, you act violently and you harm those you should be helping. You harm those you should be protecting. You harm those you should be covering. The Black man is so much more than what he has become in front of the world. The men in general have been commodified, but nobody has been commodified more than the Black man. The Black man is judged primarily based on what he brings to the table financially. And if he doesn't bring anything to the table financially, he is not appreciated for what he brings to the table in character, in integrity, in stability, in support, in covering, in protection, in physicality. All of the things that make him in totality a man isn't being appreciated. And the only thing he has is what he can bring to the table in the way of monetary value. So he fights for that. He goes for that. He is willing to do anything for that. And then when that isn't enough, he's still bruised. And so he strikes out because he thought all he had to do was have money, or all he had to do was do X, Y, Z. And he's realizing that that doesn't make you a man, that there's something still there. So it's something yearning on the inside. There's something pulling on the outside. And it's creating a self-destructive force that we are not prepared to deal with. When I started this targeted fundraiser, it was just to facilitate a small portion of what we're trying to do in a very short period of time. Because what we do on a grand scale is far more than the 10,000 we were trying to raise. I thought we would do better. I didn't think we would hit the 10 because we never have hit any of the goals. They're realistic. If you look at the numbers, if you just look at the subscribers we have on one of the YouTube channels, not any other ways that we're set up and asking, but just that one channel, there are enough subscribers that if each person gave $125, you could reach it. You could reach the 10,000. And I may be, nope, I'm wrong. If each person gave $1.50, I'm sorry, each person gave $1.50, you could reach the 10,000. I know someone right about that math, but there's so many different things. The mathematics is that you can definitely do $10,000. That's not the problem. Is what you can do. It's what are we willing to do? The thing is, we are so confounded by all the things that go on. We don't act, we don't take it. And it's easy. I understand some people don't trust it. Fine, if you don't trust it, then I'm not the person for you. I'm not going to sit up and go through a whole spiel of trying to get people to look at what I've done. I'm literally every day in front of somebody, helping somebody, doing something. I'm telling you that this is constantly across my desk. And don't get me wrong, I love the work I do, but that work isn't free. The part that I can give, I give, but it doesn't come free. There's so many things in materials. There's so many things in training. There's so many things in proximity. I can't be everywhere at every place at one time. I can do the best I can digitally through technology, but there are some things that need to be done hands-on. There's so much going on when you're dealing with these young men. Uh, I got one young man incarcerated for some bull crap, but doesn't have the resources, doesn't have anybody at his back. I have another young man who has lost himself and his parents are trying to pull him in. And this is constantly. Mothers are coming, but I've got mothers and fathers that are coming. I've got mothers and fathers that are coming to me about young boys as early as 4 and 5 years old that they're seeing caught up in a school system that's alienating them and labeling them and tagging them with tags that will follow them throughout school: oppositionally defiant, ADHD, learning disabled, a bunch of other things that push them over into the special education designation, which actually brings the school more money when a child has been designated as special education and IEP has been assigned. They get more money for that kid. Now, it doesn't mean that the kid gets a better education or gets more resources. It just means that the school gets more money for them. And normally they're alienated, they're pushed aside. Nobody wants to deal with them. They're looked at as a problem. And for boys, it becomes a bad situation because normally it will eventually alienate them from the entire academic process and they end up dropping out of school before they graduate. Well, now what we know is if when a kid drops out of school, he is 5 to 7 times more likely to end up incarcerated. Then now you end up into the system where you will be institutionalized and conditioned to behave and think a certain way that will probably ensure that you return. 75% of people who are released from prison return within 3 years because the process is not designed to help them grow, to rehabilitate, to heal, and to become better. That has to be done by us. We have to do it. It's that simple. It's up to us to do. We have to do it, and we have not been doing it. I came on like I said, several times last week, and I told you about this fundraiser. Those who donate at least $100 will receive a hoodie, Black Man Lead logo on the front, just as a token of our appreciation. But whatever is given is appreciated. I could talk about this all day. Here's the thing. I still want to hit that goal. And as crazy as it may sound, I want to hit it today. I do. If nobody gives, I'm going to be okay with that. If I hit it, I'm going to be ecstatic. My work doesn't change. How I do my work will be affected. It just simply is. That's the reality of it. My goal, my passion, my ability is going to be what it is. But I would love to hit that goal. I would love to see people stand up. I would love to see people, instead of just sitting up saying, oh my God, shaking my head, wow. I would love to see people saying, man, I'm going to invest in something that can change lives. Why? Because that's going to be the difference in what happens a year from now, 10 years from now. Sitting up and thinking you can just sit up and talk about it and change it isn't going to work for us. It has never worked for anybody. It never worked for us. It's not going to work now. We are literally going to have to come up and understand that the way we're going to do it is we're going to have to invest in programs that work. We're going to have to invest in programs that make a difference. We're not going to be able to sit up and play safe. We're not going to get the support we need from outside of our community because people are benefiting on the demise and the oppression and the lackluster performance of those within the community. The idea of us advancing ourselves doesn't bode well for people outside of our community. And we have to understand that. So then where does the support come from? The support is going to have to come from within. The support is going to have to come from within. Yes, I'm asking for support. I'm asking because this is one thing I can tell you. I've not, as a matter of fact, when I'm asking, I'm telling people, if you need help, come. And the clarion is still that. If you need help, if it's something your family needs, come. Especially if it's about children, come. But if it's mental health, come. We're going to figure it out. We're going to get you help. We're going to do what it takes. But I'm also challenging people. Let's make it easier. Let's make it more powerful. Let us create the network. Dr. Blanchard and I have been banging our heads to do some unbelievable things together. We've been working with each other now for almost a decade, trying to bring some things together. We've done some unbelievable stuff together, but nowhere close to what we could do if we had more support. We both reach into our pockets. It's times I've picked up the phone and called him and say, man, I'm trying to get this done. I'm right here. He said, hey, what you need, Doc? And that's been going on. But we are sitting up now and we are at the cusp of doing something exceptional. I'm telling you that Black Men Lead can be a universal rite of passage, something that all other high-performing groups have. From the Jews on down, there's a rite of passage. You got to understand what manhood means to your community before you can execute it. And we don't have that. We don't have that universal understanding of, the principles that come. The number one principle that we teach to our boys at Black Men Lead is a Black man never brings harm to a woman, emotionally, psychologically, or physically. That's the first thing we teach. And I'm glad that's the first thing we teach, because that's one of the most important deficits we have in the community right now. Our Black women don't feel safe with our men, especially our young men. They don't feel safe getting out of their cars if they pull up and it's young men standing at the gas station. They don't feel safe going into the store if it's young men. Why? Because these young men don't have an understanding of what it means to be a man, or how you approach a lady, how you treat a lady, how you deal with a lady. They don't deal with rejection well. They don't know how to talk to our daughters. When we fail these boys, we fail our daughters, because these are the men that are going to be interacting. These are the men that are supposed to be stepping up and covering them. These are the men that are supposed to be stepping up and leading. These are the men that are supposed to be stepping up and providing. And we aren't preparing them. We aren't properly socializing them. We're expecting them to somehow get it all and be what we think they should be, without giving them a guideline and giving them modeling to show them what it should be. We are failing boys that will never become what they should be without us. Again, there's no limit or minimal amount on what a person can give. Unfortunately, there were some technical difficulties toward the end of the video, so I just want to close out here. We need your support. And in addition, I just decided to do something different. In addition to sending out Black Men Lead hoodies, for anybody who donates $100 today, January 14, 2022, I'm going to gift you a rapid change breakthrough session with yours truly, something that is worth $350. I'm going to gift that to anyone who will donate $100 or more today. Take care, continue to do the work. Hope to talk with you soon. station.